do you feel about what's happening in Australia at the moment with
well, what I think, you know, we look on a global level, but certainly what's happening in Australia, it's just the next level of evil tyranny. To take people, whether they're negative or not, just because they've been in close contact with somebody that's no more than a worse, and I mean that with all due respect to the people that have died, but it's a bad, even doctors are saying this around the world, to take them away from their home and put them in quarantine camps and say if you walk past the yellow line you're going to be fined £5,000, to me is not incompetence or even blackmail for a few pounds. It is evil, it is tyranny, and it is very concerning because we're living in a world where one nation is a globe and the globe is one nation, so watch these shores is what I would say.
And do you think, I don't know if you heard about how they opened fire in the Netherlands?
Yes,
protesters?
I did,
Do you
yes.
think that's going to come here at some
So
point?
protesters protesting in fear that they are going to be with something that they don't know what is in that has been rolled off the production line in 9 months, where usually take a minimum of 10 years to produce, are protesting because they're scared and they get shot. You know, we are not dealing with incompetent governments here. We are dealing with the most, what I would say, some of the most evil governments that this world has ever seen.
And do you think that the military or police will turn their guns on towards us at some point?
I don't want to make that conclusion as of yet.
Yeah.
I hope not. Or I do. I've lost all faith in our police, as for our armed forces. I don't know. They've not been on the scene, but my conversations, or shall I say attempted conversations with the police over the last 18 months, is they are there to uphold the law, but they don't know the difference between right and wrong, and that's a very concerning state of affairs.
And how do you feel about the mandates that have just been introduced to the UK once again?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I am very, very concerned for our children. God gave me these eyes, this nose and this mouth for good reason. So when I talk, you can read my lips, you can see my smile, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas everybody, and my empathy for the people that walk down the street scared with on, little old ladies that haven't seen their families for 2 years, haven't been to the doctors because they're scared, because of the BBC. I show empathy towards those. So I worry for the children that they're walking around and seeing half of the populations with just a pair of eyes. We were not designed that way. And my question is, and I don't mean to be crude here, but my pants never held in a good fart, that is going to do nothing for you. And if you believe that walking down the street is a dangerous activity, then I have the most sincere compassion for you. I don't like calling people sheep. I don't think that's right. I think what this is evidence of military-grade warfare propaganda in action. It works because look around us.
And do you think the government are trying to deprive the younger generation of like seeing people's faces and things like normal things that other people grew up with? Do you think it's going to traumatise them in a way?
Absolutely. I work in a field, I won't go too much into detail to protect myself with employment, but yeah, I won't go too much into that, but yes, I do worry for the youth. I sincerely worry for the youth and their futures. I do think there's a much more deeper, sinister message behind it, and the message is that for your safety you are going to give up your freedom, and we are in charge, and whether how you perceive it or not, we are going to go through with this. 3 weeks to the flatten the curve, they said. In February it'll be 2 years. 2 years. I don't know one single person that has died from but if you put 1,000 people in front of me and I said, have you been affected mentally, emotionally, financially, the health of your family, the health of your business, everybody is going to put their hand up.
And how do you feel about how they kids in secondary
I think
school?
it's absolutely disgusting, and I hope and I pray and I will do anything that Boris Johnson and certain members in our parliament, and even some, I don't want to say everyone because I think there's a lot of innocence in this, I think there's a lot of confusion, and I think it's very important to say that, but some top people, Boris Johnson and Savid, whatever his name is, the new health minister, they ignored the advice from the CJV, do not children, and they went ahead and did it with an It is absolutely disgusting, and I hope these people will stand in front of a Supreme Court one day. History tells us, just 70 years ago, the Nuremberg trials, that it can and does happen. And I am very, very confident that if it does, these people will face a long time, if not life in jail.
And what do you think about how 60,000 care workers were sacked for not having?
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. If they really cared for our elderly people, you know, getting they say this, it doesn't stop you getting it or transmitting it. So the only person that you're, in inverted commas, protecting yourself, protecting from having is yourself. So that's my personal choice. So the idea that you're protecting elderly people by taking 60,000 people out of the industry that's already suffered, it's madness. People really need to get their head around what's going on here. And then in what, April, 106,000 NHS workers? With a 6.2 million waiting list in the NHS. These are sick psychopaths, they're animals. Make no mistake about it.
And do you think we're going to be put into a winter in the UK again, like other countries?
I think it's coming. Because I've looked at enough information. I am not a conspiracy theorist. Let's define what a conspiracy theorist is. I have looked on our government website. I have looked at the 4th Industrial Revolution, and I have looked at that's on our government website. Nearly 2,000 people have died from this, and 1.2 million mild to severe reactions from it. So yes, I do, because I know it's not about keeping people safe. I know that it's about introducing a big problem globally, because they want a goal at the end of it. Without a big problem and a solution, achieving the goal is impossible. But when you bring in a problem and you lock the entire world down, you bring in a solution, and not only do people want the solution, they welcome it. It's very, very clever, and when people look into it, it is very clever, but it's evil. It really is evil.
Steering away from COVID a bit, because I actually just remembered an article I read. How do you feel about they've still kept files of smallpox, and in the future, what do you think they plan to do with that?
I don't know too much about that at the minute, but the idea that people are messing around, these people won't question you. You know, what are you doing? Get a grip. You know, really.
You can't play God. It comes back to the
No.
Frankenstein's monster was a brilliant analogy. How are you?
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.